Welcome to the Caribbean American News Media Show, your premier destination for in-depth coverage, engaging discussions, and entertaining segments showcasing the rich tapestry of Caribbean American culture. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from current events and community spotlights to arts, music, cuisine, and more. Our show features exclusive interviews with influencers, artists, community leaders, and everyday heroes who are making a difference in the Caribbean American community. Stay informed and inspired with our thought-provoking segments that highlight the diversity, resilience, and creativity within our community. Tune into the Caribbean American News Media Show for a captivating blend of news, entertainment, and storytelling that celebrates the Caribbean American experience. Get ready to discover new perspectives, celebrate successes, and connect with the heartbeat of the Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean American News Media Show for an immersive viewing experience like no other. Hashtag Caribbean American News, hashtag show, hashtag cultural celebration.
Well, a special good morning to all of our viewers here on Caribbean American News Media Platform. We do apologize for not having a Monday or a Tuesday show. We will be back on Tuesday with our regular programming. Also, we are going to be giving space for the new show with Spider, the United Workers' Party. That's on Monday at 8. We're encouraging all to support that show as much as you can. We are looking at a morning show that's for Mondays, and so we're still working out the details, but we are on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. with our Caribbean American News broadcast. Folks, how is your morning going so far? Hope all is well. Again, I am calling on all to support the program that is the United Workers' Party program that will be aired on the 17th, starting on the 17th of this month. We look forward to an interesting show, a beautiful show there with Mr. Spider Montoute. But greetings, friends. I want to greet all of you this morning, and I want to wish you a blessed morning. Here's wishing you and your family a beautiful day. May God go before you. Now, there's some developments that I posted last night as I received them. Hey, Dr. Fletcher is on. She's saying, a rainy morning. Wow, a rainy morning indeed. I heard that there's a lot of water in the nation, but greetings, friends, greetings. I see Bernard Haynes is on and all the others joining the platform. But you know what I always say to you folks, great is his faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies we see, all that we've needed, his hands have provided. So share the live. I'm going to go through these new guidelines from the UK concerning travel, the ETA, that is electronic travel authorization. Many folks want to know what is the ETA all about. It's nothing new to the world. It is just for security measures. Major nations of the world do implement an ETA. Again, electronic travel authorization. It is something that you do not have to go into a building to get. It can be done online, and I'm going to go through the different. Amen. I'm going to go through some of these not restrictions, but new authorizations, and help you with your confusion. I know some people, they're not travelers and they're not sure what this is all about, how it's going to impact them and their families and their travels, and people are concerned, and there are a lot of speculations out there concerning the ETA. Now, we know for a while now that, one, there is the CIP program that is out there. Countries are afraid for their borders, are concerned about their borders, and that's a fact. Some people would like to divorce the whole ETA from border security, and these countries having a better understanding idea as to who is coming in to their borders, their country. And so these major world players are not banana republic. They're not your ordinary small developing or underdeveloped countries that, that are not okay. Let me just see here. I believe one of our stream is lagging. Let's just ensure that it is okay. Stream 2 is on. Stream 1 is lagging. Let's just try to figure out what is happening there with our stream. Just bear with us, folks. We'll be right back. All right, folks, and we are back. We just encountered a fatal glitch in our system, but we are on, and it is 9:01 a.m. in the morning. We're not accustomed of being here in the morning, but I do apologize. We had a glitch on the system that threw the system off. All right, it threw the system off, and we are back and running. I saw the data, the report on that crash. It was a very fatal one indeed, but we are recovering nicely. We are climbing back to, let me just confirm, yes, we are climbing back to our Mbps. Our megabytes have recovered nicely, but it was a fatal 3-minute crash, and our FPS dropped together with our kbps. Some of you don't know those terms, but we are back on our platform. Our resolution is still down, but it will be up. Please share the live. And so I'm going to get back in our discussion. All right. So we're back sometimes. These things do happen. And so that's why we constantly upgrade the system to make it better and better and better. All right, good. So let me continue with what I was saying. So I was saying to you folks that the major countries of the world are concerned about their border security, and this is a discussion that it's been out there for a while. And with the new developments with the CIP and the sales of passport, maybe I should use the word, the sale of our passports, then what the United Kingdom in particular have been noticing is that when they deport or they ban certain individuals or countries from coming in to their shores, that they are still rearresting those same players, but with different passports. And I'm going to say that again. Some would want you to believe that there's nothing going on with the ETA or anything. It's just something that is regular, and this happens all the time. Nothing major to see here. But I would not go so far in saying nothing to see here. I would still show some concern, because you're talking about free movement and privileges that countries have enjoyed for many years. Is now being controlled in a certain way that would have you, the citizens who would like to travel to these countries, to have to go through some extra scrutiny in order to get into the country. And is it good or bad? It is good for the countries, because they are protecting their nation. They have the governments of these countries like the UK and the European Union. They have a responsibility. The governments has a responsibility to protect their borders. That's what they're elected for the safety, to keep the people of the country safe. You understand? They have a responsibility to keep their citizens safe. And to do that, they must understand their borders. They must understand who's coming in. How are they coming in? So when the UK and these nations get a broader understanding as to the shortcuts or the other means that are available to criminals, folks with bad intentions, in getting back into their country, then they will look, and they would rightfully so, friends, make the necessary adjustments to their policies when it comes to entry, immigration into their country. And so what we're seeing, and I would go into it a little more, I would show you what is happening here, is that you had Chinese nationals being arrested with Caribbean passports. And some people would say, well, how many Vincentians or St. Lucians or Grenadans are being arrested with nationals are being arrested with our passports? Quite frankly, there are a few Caribbean nationals, because our passports are not just passports that belongs to St. Lucia or Grenada. These passports are OECS passports. Yes, there are OECS passports. So when the UK or the European Union come across a CARICOM, a OECS passport, then it reflects on the whole Caribbean. It reflects on the region and not only on your small country. And that's what a lot of people are not understanding. And so because of the lack of understanding thereof, those individuals will say, well, it is St. Kitts passport, it is Grenada passport. And by the way, St. Vincent is not even in the CIP. But I will show you something that you should keep your eyes on with the Vincentian passports and the Vincentians' names being added to this list, and they do not have a CIP program. I'm not saying that it is solely as a result of the CIP, but it is all about border control and the security, and there are a lot of threats out there, believe it or not. There are a lot of threats out there, bad actors who would want to see another 9/11, would want to see another building come down, would want to see bloodshed in the nation. There are a lot of bad actors out there who have their beef with some of these countries. And the danger with the selling of passports, it is there. That danger, that real problem is there. And that's why the passport sales, the sales of the passport, CIP or CDB, whatever you call it, got to be regulated much better than what we're seeing now. There need to be more transparency. There need to be more openness, because this is a problem when it comes to the national security of other nations. You might not care about it in your small country because you're getting monies. You talk about development and infrastructure from the CIP or the passport sales, while at the same time you say, well, we have a lot of stringent measures in order to protect the program. But is it enough to satisfy these major world powers? And that is what the fundamental issue here with the CIP program. So let's come back to the whole electronic travel authorization. What is it for, basically? But let us look. Now, there are a number of countries, and let me see if I can put it up on the screen so that you can just ride along with me today. Please share the live as you come in, folks. Let's go here. So this is it. I want to show you. I don't want to just speak from my head. I want you to see. And I hope you can see what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, let me blow it up a little more. Let me just get it bigger so that we can go through this whole, I know many of you are confused, and we're going to work together on it, friends. And we're going to be very honest and open about this whole CIP thing. So let's look at this. By the way, let me just give you the source. This is from the government of the UK. This is from the government of the UK. It's not a propaganda platform. It is from the United Kingdom. All right. And this was published on September 10th, 2024. We know September 10th was yesterday. September 10th was yesterday. Today is the 11th of September 2024. So this is a brand new release here, brand new update from the UK officials, all right? So let us go through it. And this is guidance. Check when you can get an electronic travel authorization, the ETA. So here we are saying that the ETA, really, it is an electronic travel authorization. In order to enter the country, you must go through this electronic green lighting type system, giving you the okay to travel in. Because what it does is that it gives the UK officials enough time, or any country that has the ETA, it gives them enough time to look at the travelers who is coming in. And they're more able to manage their security effectively when it comes to the ETA. So you go online to the various websites that would be processing the ETA application, and you submit a simple form. You pay a small fee, and we will show you the fee. Not anything big, but there is a fee in order to process the application. And as I said, it gives those officials an idea as to who is coming into the country. You will not need to add a lot of travel details, travel plans, airline, and all those things. You might not. But what they want to do is to identify you before you get into the country. So if you are a potential threat, then they would be able to, either if they're trying to find you, if you are a person of interest, then they know that, look, Johnny is coming in. Therefore, we got to make arrangement to get Johnny because he's a bad actor. He's in our system. He has another passport. He came in with one last year. Now he's coming in with another passport. And so he's of interest. We're going to prepare to interview or to have a conversation with this individual. So it's all about knowing who is coming in. It's about national security. And I would say, folks, I will jab at St. Lucia and some of these small countries that your border security is a little messed up at the moment. And you need also to know who is coming into your country. Imagine you having, especially St. Lucia, you having 50,000, let's just say 50,000, it's just a figure that I throw out there, 50,000 Chinese nationals who are now citizens of the country. And you don't know the full figures because we are still waiting for the government to make clear to us the amount of passports or citizenship that was issued to these foreign nationals. So let's say you have 50,000 Chinese or Russians. Do you really know that whoever is responsible for due diligence, that they were not paid, they were not given a wink so that a bad actor can become a citizen of the country through the sales of passports? And not only that, they are bad actors on the world stage, but it is possible that they too can decide, look, I'm going to come and set up shop in the country. And I'm going to run a mafia type movement in St. Lucia. And we know that we have a major crime problem now. Think about those actors coming into your country, and you do not have the resources such as policing and the technology in order to deal with these type of crimes that might be in your country. Human trafficking is a big issue. You also have another one, which is the harvesting of organs. There's a lot of issues that you got to think about when you're discussing the sales of passports in a country. And it's not enough to say we have the best due diligence and blah, blah, blah. No. You must always be on top of who is carrying your passports. It's going to be expensive, folks, for you to continually keep an eye on foreign nationals who are now passport holders. But let's go back. I'm just speaking about national security in small countries, and I'm kind of mixing it up with these major players on the world stage. But they don't care. They're doing whatever it takes to secure their nation. My question is, can we say the same for developing countries who are out of ideas, out of resources, and just want the money? I'm talking about the sales of passports, my friends. Don't tell me there's no danger. Whether the SLP or the UWP is in power, don't tell me there is no present danger when it comes to the sales of passports. There are countries who are known for good due diligence with their CBI programs, and they have caught bad actors with their passports. This is a real problem. This is a problem, my people. But let's go to this. Let's continue with the whole ETA. So let's go back to the main page of the United Kingdom government. Now, this was just thrown out. Now, Barbados have already spoken about this new development in the country, and we are yet to hear. I'm sure we might. Let's hope that we hear something coming out of the government. Just a statement from one of the government officials, just updating the citizens of this new procedure. Not anything that, like we said, it's new, but it is something worth looking at. All right, so check. Let's see who can and when the dates when you can apply for this authorization, travel authorization. So the list of nationality will soon be able of nationalities that will soon be able to apply for the ETA, and this is again September edition 10th, the 10th of September this year. So let's look at it. It says here, an ETA allows you to travel to the UK. Whether you can apply depends on... Sorry, let me just take a breather here. An ETA allows you to travel to the UK. Whether you can apply depends on the date you travel to, your nationality as shown on your passport. I'm going to read this again. This is from the UK, directly from the UK authorities. So the ETA allows you to travel to the UK. Whether you can apply depends on two things. One, the date you're traveling. Two, your nationality as shown on your passport. So there are some people with 2 or 3 passports, St. Kitts passport and a Russian passport. So let us see. So so you see what can happen here. The game that can play out. All right. Who can apply now? Let's see who can apply right now as we speak for the ETA. You have Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar. You have Saudi Arabian, and you have the United Arab Emirates. Who can apply from the 27th of November, 2024? Who can apply? We're going to blow it up again so that you can have a better view, so that we can be clear here. We believe in facts, and so we're going to blow it up as bigly as we can so that you can see it. All right? So I believe that you can see it much better now. So just bear with me here as we go through this, folks. Let's go through it again. Okay, so who can apply right now, or who can apply from the 27th of November 2024? Who can apply? Now, folks, this is new. This one, it is a new territories were added to the list. All right, so who can apply from the 27th of November 2024? And these are the nationals, and this is from the 27th of November 2024. So if you fall within these countries, you can apply in November. Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, Australia, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Botswana, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana. We have Hong Kong. Special administrative region, including British national overseas. So you have, Hong Kong, special administrative region, including British nationals overseas. Israel, Japan, and we have a number of regions, the Marshall Islands, Mexico. You have New Zealand, Nigeria, Nicaragua, Papua New Guinea, and I'm skipping. You have Solomon Islands, South Korea, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Taiwan, if you have a passport issued by Taiwan, that includes in it the number of identification card issued by the competent authority in Taiwan. Tango, Trinidad and Tobago, United States. Those individuals can apply on the 27th of November 2024. We have those who can apply in March, the 5th of March. So they're rolling it out, the different dates. These nationals, you have Australia, you have Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Malta, Portugal, and Spain, and Vatican City. They can apply on the 2nd of April, 2025. And this is the list of countries, and these are countries that once enjoyed visa-free access to the nation. And by the way, it is not, this ETA is not a visa. Let me just make it clear. This is not a visa. This is just an authorization travel form. You don't have to go through the same process that you would go through for a visa, United States visa. This is something that I believe it is much easier. Just bear with me, I'm just looking at some. So we're going to look at the cost quickly, and let's look at the cost. Let's go through some of the, just for clarity, folks, because some people don't know what it is. They hear ETA and they don't understand the process, what it's all about. And what I don't want you to say is that, you need a visa to go to the UK from St. Lucia. You need a visa to get to the UK from St. Kitts and Nevis. All right. So again, the ETA gives you permission to travel to the UK. Who can apply? You can only now apply if you are a national of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 countries right now. If you're national of 6 countries, Kuwait and Oman and Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab, those you can apply right now for. All right. So let's see. Who does not need an ETA? If you're a national of other countries, you do not currently need the ETA. And there's a list of countries where you do not need this ETA. You also do not need an ETA if you have any of these: a visa, permission to live, work, or study in the UK, including settled or pre-settled status under the EU settlement scheme, a British or Irish passport, a British Overseas Territories passport. So, if you have a British or Irish passport or a British Overseas Territories passport, you do not need to apply for the ETA. If you have a visa also, you do not need to apply. All right. What can you do with the ETA? You can get an ETA instead of a visa if you're coming to the UK for up to 6 months for tourism, visiting families and friends, business or short-term study. To come into the UK for up to 3 months on the creative worker visa concession. Come into the UK for a permitted paid engagement. Transiting through the UK, including if you're not going through the UK border control. What you cannot do with an ETA, you cannot stay in the UK for longer than 6 months. Do pay or unpaid work for a UK company or as a self-employed person unless you're doing a permitted paid engagement or event or work on a creative worker visa concession. Claim public funds, benefits, public assistance. Live in the UK through marry or register civil partnership. All right. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? It costs £10 to apply. Everyone traveling needs to get an ETA, including babies and children. You can apply for other people. You cannot get a refund after you apply. Now again, we're doing this for information purposes. Before you start, before you apply, this is what you need. The passport you're traveling with, not a photocopy. Access to your emails. A credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. You need to upload or take photos of the passport, face of the person applying. So there is what you have in the UK, facial recognition technology. So what they're asking you to do is to upload a picture of your face, the person's face. So one, you need the passport, photo of the passport, and you will have to upload a picture of your face. And the fastest way to apply, it is using the UK ETA app. You can download that from the App Store, or you can download it from the Google Play. All right? If you cannot use the app, you can apply online. So you'll have to go through the US page in order to get that done. Usually get the decision within 3 working days, but you may get it quicker decision. So it says, I'm going to read this one carefully. It says, you'll usually get a decision within 3 working days, but you may get a quicker decision. So there's a decision here. All right, there's a decision. Could it be that the decision be come or don't come, but you get a decision that's within 3 working days. All right. For group applicants, each person must apply separately. You must apply for an ETA before you travel to the UK. You must apply for an ETA before you travel to the UK. You can travel to the UK while waiting for a decision. So the ETA lasts for 2 years. It's like a pre-clearance. All right, it's like a pre-clearance. So, and the United States have, most of you who travel here in the United States, they have what you have, their special lines for persons who have already been verified through the Homeland Security system. So you can skip a lot of the processes by applying for that special status. And this is almost the same thing, the ETA, where it lasts up to 2 years. You can travel to the UK as many times as you want during this time. So once you get it once, you have 2 years. You can travel back and forth as long as you want until the 2 years, then you reapply. If you get a new passport, of course, you will need to get a new ETA number. So if your passport expired or you lost your passport and you get a new one, you will have to get a new ETA. And that's basically, friends, what the whole electronic clearance system is. As I said, it's not new to us here in the United States. You have pre-clearance, pre-TSA screening. You get a special document, and you can skip the line at some of the check-in points here in the United States because they would have already know who you are. They would have already done all the extra scrutiny for your travel. And that is what the UK, they're attempting to do here. They've added most countries who once had visa-free access or have visa-free access. They have added this extra step here. And we got to watch this space because there are other countries that are concerned about their security, national security, of course. And with all the wars that are happening around the globe, then we're not sure what is going to happen to travel on a whole. And I would tell you that travel on a whole is going to be different. It's going to be a different experience altogether. For those of you who travel through the JFK airport, you would see that there are now kiosks, or whatever you call it, there, little machines, computerized machines, where you go and you check yourself in, you print your boarding pass and everything else, your tags for the bags, and then you take your bag to the area. You got to scan your passports and everything else. So travel on a whole is changing worldwide, and with the new concerns with the CIP programs from other nations, it gets a little tighter, and I keep saying to you, you got to watch this space a little more, the travel space and the border security ideas that are being implemented in some of these countries. They want to, as I said it earlier, they want to know who is in the country, who is coming in, where you're coming from. And even though you show a St. Lucian passport, they want to know your original birthplace. They want to know, how did you get that passport? And once you start talking about sales of passports, and I bought my passport, of course, then they begin to look a little more at that individual, and that's just a fact. That's not a game. They want to know once you present that. And the idea is, you're from Russia, you have a Caribbean passport. How long have you lived in the Caribbean? And once you hear CIP and everything else, then people want, these countries, border security will have a heads up. They watch a little more. They put a little extra eye on these individuals, and that's why they're catching many of them with foreign passports, especially Caribbean passports, because they're keeping an extra eye on those individuals. And if they continue to have problems, with the region's CIP programs, then there is, you got to watch the space, and it is only wise. Any wise government would want to protect their borders. Any good government or good leader would want to ensure that they are protecting their people. That, because the worst thing a government would want to know is that they have another 9/11 on their hand, or they have a terrorist activity, and it's because they let their guards down. Any leader, any prime minister or president who acts carelessly with the nation's passport, I don't think that person deserves to be in that position, because This is very serious. Passports are very serious. They give you access to other people's country. And sometimes your financial gain might be a pain in the neck for another country. Might be an expensive pain in the neck. Could be a deadly pain in the neck. So when you hear, folks, the United Workers' Party and the opposition leader is speaking on the whole sales of passports, this is not a game. This is not a political winning strategy for the United Workers' Party as far as I'm concerned. But this is something that whether you're SLP or UWP or just a citizen, you got to be concerned about your country. And the thing that I hate to see is careless citizens. You know, citizens that pamele, they don't care what happened. You know, don't talk about these programs because it is my government who is running it now. It is my government who is in charge, and so don't talk about the implications. Don't talk about the problems. Don't talk about the issues that these problems are experiencing. And let me tell you something, there is no perfect CIP program. There is no perfect way to sell your passport. That's why you got to be on guard. Do you understand this, folks? So I would expect, now I am off of the ETA. I'll read your comments little shortly before I leave. But think about it. Just think about it. Let's reason, folks. You as a citizen, you're not concerned that your passports are being sold and that there is so much negatives that are surrounding it and there is no real clarity to the negatives. Are you not concerned? So when I hear people attack the opposition leader, Mr. Shastney, as the problem and Mr. Martinez as the problem and lawyers as the problem, then I have a problem with that, because if somebody's saying to me, if a criminal is saying to me that my back tire is low and needs air, or a car thief say to me that my back tire needs air, am I not going to put air in that tire? Am I going to say, you're a car thief? Well, I don't want to hear you. And that's what we're doing with the CIP program. We say that Mr. Martinez is a criminal and this one is a criminal and blah, blah, blah. And so you just block your air. And before you know it, the possibility is there that you, the citizens who block your air, will start to feel, most of the times, it is not your government ministers who will feel the pressure, you know. No. It is going to be you, the ordinary citizens. It is you, the ordinary citizens. Huh? So, I would want us to reassess, to step back, and look at the whole discussion that we're having with the CIP program. And not only the one in St. Lucia, but in the region. We got to keep speaking on it. We got to keep putting the pressure so that we can have a better, a more structured, a more secure. You're not going to get it 100%. You always got to be watching. You always got to be monitoring. But at least we are not in a good place right now with the sales of the passports. That's what it is. Sales of passports. We are not in a good place. We're not in a place where we can say, you know what, we're comfortable. We have a good idea as to, you're hearing this one is involved. This one is getting millions of dollars. This one getting kickbacks, and lawyers are benefiting more than the government, and all these type of stuff. And our government, folks, The government is still going into the house to borrow money. Think about it. Lawyers are benefiting more than the government. Agencies are benefiting more from the government. And by the way, agents that are not even in the country or care about the country are benefiting more than you, and your government goes into the house constantly to borrow monies. Now tell me if it makes sense. Does that make sense to you? That we're hearing possibility of $2 billion US dollars related to CIP. $2 billion. We have one of the CIP guy in St. Kitts just resigning. People are just walking away. People don't want to be a part of this. They don't want to be a part of the drama. But nobody's willing to fix the drama. Nobody's willing to say, folks, let's break down this whole CIP program and let us build it back up. Let's look at best practices in the marketplace. Let us engage a little more our police agencies, policing agencies from around the world. Let's build a better program. And because we need the money, people need the passport, countries need their security, let's bring all these partners together and let's build a more transparent program that all will be happy with. The citizens will benefit. The citizens will see hospital being supplied, free health care, proper roads, schools, improvement, better water system, cheaper electricity, cheaper internet, and all those things. The citizens must be able to be impacted the most with the sales of passports. They're already not being impacted by the sales of lands. And I'm just calling us, folks, to let's have a different discussion. Right now, St. Lucia CIP, it is a secret. It is top secret. And that's the truth. Mr. Hilaire said he's going to come back to us. He's going to speak to us. He's going to ask Galaxy if he can tell us. Because he's aware of the numbers. The government, they are aware of the amount of passports. And anytime governments are aware of something and they're trying to hold it to their chest, you got to be careful as citizens. Because they can tell you everything else, they can leak everything else to you, but why can't they not tell us? So that, I would stop the opposition, I would just put it out. Folks, here is the amount of passports that were sold on the Galaxy. The opposition is wrong. Here's the information. That's what you do. What happens when you do that is that the people are enlightened. All the speculations are gone because, as I always say to you, friends, in the absence of information, people will speculate. People are just suspicious of government on a whole. And even though you tell them something, they will still be kind of in a little moody type way to accept it. But you are speaking to them. You are sharing with them. Up to this day, I am confused. I've been following the CIP story, and I am confused on the part of the government of St. Lucia and the CIP office. I don't know who is who there. We don't know who is who. We don't. And that's a fact. We still don't know the amount of passports that was sold. We still don't know the amount of monies that the government received from the CIP. We don't know the amount of monies that Galaxy received, or any other lawyers or all the agents or whoever it is involved. We, the people, don't know. If you are happy with not knowing, then you are setting a bad precedent, because when another government gets in and you want to know, you would know. Because you have said to your government that it is okay not to tell us. And I'll tell you, folks, the tables turns quickly, especially in St. Lucia. You know the political table, how it turns quickly. It don't play around. And whether you believe that you win and you will always win, that table is turned by the people, not the politicians. The United Workers' Party thought that they had won the elections. They had it. They look at the roads and everything and St. Jude, and they said to themselves that this is a winning proposition. We can never lose with the amount of work we did. And you saw what happened. Politicians need to learn. So when I hear politicians boasting that we win and we will win again and we will never, and this one will never be prime minister, they made that mistake and they said Shasne would have never been prime minister. Over the dead bodies, the table turned. Not by them, but by the people. So that's what I'm saying, that the discussion, it sometimes borders on ignorance. When you say that there's no transparency, you have no idea what is going on with CIP. But you say, because it's the Labour Party in power, my party, we don't have to know everything is good. The UWP comes in, the table turns. The UWP gets into power, and the possibility is that they can get into power. And they start going down the very same line that the SLP is going down with CIP. I'm not saying they will. And you know what's going to happen? Some of you would want to talk, but because it is documented, you will be very careful in speaking. So why not speak up now, so that when any future government comes in, you can speak louder? Because the call for accountability and transparency would have been loud and clear. But you are setting up yourself as a nation for a political disaster. You guys are setting up yourselves for a harvest that you would not be able to deal with. And I don't think we understand the importance of what I'm saying here. We got to speak loud and clear now. You got to speak loud and clear then, so that you can have that balance. SLP, UWP, when both are in power, we spoke up. We spoke up. But you guys, and mark my words, you're planting seeds that, when germinated and is grown into a plant and it begins to bear fruit, you would not be able to eat the fruit. The fruit will look good, smell good, but you would not be able to stomach the fruit. That's why I'm calling on St. Lucians to let us look at the whole CIP differently. Major countries of the world are not going to wait on you to fix anything. They will fix it from their point of view. They're going to fix it from their borders. They're going to fix it from their borders. I'm going to read your comments, folks. But I'm saying again, you, the citizens, got to remove Martinez and Mr. Shasne out of the discussion and look at the information. Look at the information Are you better off today with information than then? Do you understand what is going on with the CIP program? And let me warn you folks, some of you waste a lot of the time that God has given to you to listen to nastiness. People talking garbage about each other on social media or online, on the media. And you spend all your precious time. Some of you are on borrowed time. Some of us on borrowed times. Some of us have grandchildren that we need to pray for. We need to spend every moment counting our blessings, but instead we are on the lives with insults and nasty language. And this is the moment, this is the time where we should be using all our energies and efforts to ensure that we plant good seeds, because we are planting seeds for the future right now. I don't think many understand. When you are under the influence of rum, when you are under the influence of rum and substances, how can you reason clearly? Do we really want a nation of drunkard to lead our nation? A matter of fact, if we go back to Bible times, some of the kings were asked to stay away from strong drinks and alcohol because it would have messed up their thinking, and the policies that they put in place would have been messed up because their reasoning would have been darkened by the effect of alcohol. Do you really want a bunch of drunkards leading your nation? Is that what you really want to see? And some of you don't believe in the Bible, but there's some guidance there that will do us well as we prepare to plant good seeds in the nation. Avoid drunkenness. Especially as a political leader, the lives of people are in your hands. Your policies can either make or break families. And we know that the policies on crime is nowhere. Basically, it sounds like there is none, because every time you hear a presentation is that we are looking at policies. We are putting policies in place. How can you be still putting policies in place after almost 60-something dead people in your country? And you, the citizens, are all right with it. Your own families are being buried, and you're all right with it. Your neighbors are being buried, and your government is still saying to you that we are looking at policies. And we are meeting with stakeholders. You're meeting with stakeholders after 50-something or 60 dead bodies on your shores. Think about what I'm saying to you, friends. Think about what I'm saying to you. And I will give advice to you politicians. Stay away from strong drinks. You cannot lead a nation in your drunken state. Righteousness still exalts your nation. Righteousness still exalts your nation. Stay away from strong drinks. Stay away from it. St. Lucians, you are smarter than this. You're smarter than this. We are losing our way. Up to this day, we can't have our police force is like a seesaw. One new commissioner today, another one tomorrow. One in, one out. Back in, back out. And how can you have effective policing in a nation when there's no stability in the leadership? How can you, after 3 years, going into 4 years, folks, and by the way, you're closer to an election than you think. After 4 years, almost 4 years, you are still trying to implement a policing strategy. You're still trying to fix policies to protect the nation, when I believe that you should have had 2 priorities, and none of them should have been carnival or jazz or renaming anything in the country. Yes, you can do all those things at the same time, but your priority should have been the safety of the nation and the health of the nation. And these are the 2 sectors in the country that are at their worst. And don't tell me, don't say it is at its worst. It is. It is at its worst. It's not at its best. How can it be at its best when we are burying our people, innocent and non-innocent? How can it be at its best when politicians get justice more than the boy sitting at Bordelais for 10 years? How can it be when there should have been investigation? How can it be, folks, when the police sisters came forward and said that they were abused sexually? And then your government says, yeah, I don't know what to do with you. What do you want me to do? On a serious matter. They say it's allegations and mischief by the UWP. An investigation should have been in a place of concluding and closing at this time. You just start at investigations. After you have accused police officers of playing politics, after you have accused these women of being malicious, how can it be in the nation and people are celebrating like we have achieved something good? How can you just wake up in the morning and put a plywood building up? And the people who you try to move off of the street are not all the ones who you give those shops? How can it be when it's in Dennery or Castries? How can it be that our government in opposition told the citizens, the vendors, that nobody's going to touch them and they can vend all over the place, because in Manhattan everywhere people vend? And then come back and move them and put pressure on them, take their bread away, and then say to them, I'm not taking your bread away, but I'm taking it away. How can it be that we were told that Bannon's land is a good deal? How can we, in good conscience, celebrate that housing projects that should have been finished by now was stopped, and we were told that there was corruption, only to hear through the grapevine that there was nothing wrong, and the project can go forward without no major explanation? How can it be that our people can be told or can be sold not sold, but bought and sold, and they're not even sure that they're bought and sold? How can it be, St. Lucians? You're smarter. How can it be? Our GPH, the ports, leased for over 30 years, and the owners of the leased ports are getting more than the government of the day? How can this be? That our nurses and doctors at our health facility complained about the resources and the support that is needed and the lack of supplies at the medical facility, calling it basically a death zone. But our government says to us that they have done more than any government for health care. And babies are dying, people are dying in the same system. How could it be? How could it be? That's the question. How could it be that a 2.5% VAT was placed on your backs, causing a ripple effect throughout the nation? How could it be that a well-needed increase for workers in the country was rushed along? And then we're hearing that people are being fired in preparation. And the question is asked to the minister, and the minister said, well, there's nothing we can do now. It's implemented in October. It's not nothing people want to do. They're doing what they have to do. And so when October, then we will enforce what we have to enforce in October. But for now, it's not implemented yet. And then the people tell you Shastney and UWP. How could it be? How could it be that the government told us, the Prime Minister told us, that the UWP is tagging up with businesses to lay people off? Because they knew that that would have happened. People would have been laid off, but not by the UWPs. How could it be that we as a people allow ourselves to be played? How could it be, my people? How am I the enemy? How is the United Workers' Party the enemy? How is Mr. Shasta the enemy? When the enemy is poverty, the enemy is high gas prices, the enemy is an empty laptop, and expensive books. The enemy is bad health care, no access to proper health care. That's the enemy. The enemy is high cost of living. The enemy is 2.5%. The enemy is the sale of the least of our ports. The enemy is the lack of clarity with CIP. That's the enemy. And we can never fix the enemy or confront the enemy if we are looking at the wrong people. If we are tagging the wrong enemies, then the real enemy will continue to cause havoc in the country. The real enemy is crime. The real enemy is families who have given up hope because their boys, they believe, have gone to a place of not coming back, no return. Families have given up on their loved ones, tagged them as criminals and gang leaders, and have just given up on them. And some in the sector would say, let them kill themselves. But we are burying innocent people. Young boy, 14. A child, or body riddled with bullets. A grandmother killed. How could it be when people are emboldened and there is no fear of our government by criminals, and there is no fear of criminals for the police. How can it be? That's the enemy, St. Lucians. I'm not the enemy. I stay on this platform and I speak on the issues, friends, because the lives of people hang in the balance. Many are like sitting ducks. You don't know when you're going to be next. Either a victim of the hospital or a victim of crime. A victim at the supermarkets, a victim at the passport office, a victim of a government minister. You don't know when your turn is going to come. A victim of bullies. Folks, I was looking back and somebody was asking me, how did you make it through this? The bullying, the name calling, the disrespect. One government minister said that I should not come back and they should stop me, this fool. And then the same minister said, well, I don't trouble people. I don't call people names and I stay on the issues. I'm not an issue. The last time I checked. I'm not an issue. I'm not the issue. So, I urge you, my people, rethink, refocus, reset. The issues are many. Time is running out, whether it's on climate change, whether it's on local energy, whether it's at our supermarkets, healthcare, crime. Time is running out. This is not the season for government to only focus on winning an election. Folks, this is not the time in our history. This is not it to play around with these issues. These issues that we are facing now, if not fixed now, would be a disaster in the future for the next generation to come. And I said to you that the next generation will spit on our graves because we would have handed them a bigger problem to deal with that we could have dealt with in our time. We are handing the generation something that is broken, that we can fix. And not only that we're handing them this broken thing, but we're handing them billions of dollars in debt that we have thrown at the broken thing, hoping that it will fix it. But there is no real effort in fixing the many issues. Why are we here still fighting over housing? Why do we still have a housing issue with all these governments that have ruled over the nation? Why do we still have a housing problem with trillions of dollars borrowed? Why do we still have a housing problem with millions of dollars of passport sales, and if not billions? Why are we still where we are today? Why? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why are we still trying to beautify castries with flower pots? Why are we trying to camouflage the problems in castries with flower pots and flowers and plywood buildings with paint? Why are we? And by the way, very soon you will have to take down those plywood shacks because they would have been infested with termites and will become an eyesore shortly. Why are we building boutique? Why are we building for the now and not the then? Why are we camouflaging, whitewashing things that need to be revamped, reorganized, rebuilt? Why are we so behind on things that should have already been in place? Why, St. Lucians? Why? I'm going to read your comments. But I want to say to you, UWP is not your problem. I'm not your problem. Shaston is not your problem. We all are the problem. We all are the problem. We sit by and allow nastiness, and we crucify the messengers. Mr. Compton, poop was thrown at him. I heard someone confess that, yes, we used to go look for the eggs, the rotten eggs, to throw at them and blah, 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 and boasting. But then, in the same tone, said, eyeliner, Compton was a good man. We kill our own good men. And when they're dead, we call them good men. And when they have long gone, we put holidays in place for them and call them father of the nation. But we treated the father of the nation like dirt, called him the worst of names. That's what we do as a nation. It gets worse before it gets better, and when it gets better, you're dead. And when you have no feelings or no emotions, then they say you were the best. And that's why I will always ask the Labour Party people to keep John Compton out of your mouth. You guys did wrong by him, and you have not repented of it. And you are repeating the very same errors of yesteryear. Don't use John Compton's name to hit at us. He is a product of the United Workers' Party. And the United Workers' Party is a product of Sir John Compton. And we would ask for respect with his name. And if you want to honor him, don't call his name. Because you guys threw poop at him and label him as the worst in his time. My humble advice to you is to leave him out of your drama and start building for the future like he did. And he did build for the future. Now the future needs to be rebuilt for another future. And the cycle will continue until Christ comes. Yes, it is time to rebuild for a new future. It's time for us to move forward. I'm going to read your comments, folks. Let's go. So we have Deborah. Who are you anyway? Trying very hard to protect the victory, non-entity. Okay, I think she's responding to someone. Let me see here. Deborah, I see a billboard of Julian Alfred up with grass surrounding it. Lol, wow. If that's the case, got to do better, friends. Somebody's responding here, Bernard Haynes. Regardless of what happened in Compton days, our politics were never as it is since Alan Chesney came. Bernard Haynes, that's the worst statement that I've heard from you, that politics have not been so bad until Chesney come. Let me just correct you publicly that you guys have been dirty in your politics for a very long time. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. You guys have been dirty in your politics for a very, very long time. Long before Mr. Shastney came. And I don't see Shastney online on Thursdays or every opportunity degrading anyone in the country. You have a guy on your side, Bernard Haynes, who is in the occult and curses everything and every woman, degrade them, speak about their body parts, disrespect leaders, and you're talking about since Shastney. You have racism at its cutting edge and bigotry. And you're telling me, Bernard, search in yourself and see whether that statement makes sense to you. And history does not even support what you're writing. Period. Hillary, again, you guys forgot that was his daughter, to show some respect. Matt 3 says, Pastor Garfield, you are so right. The truth is what we need. That was SLP's paying for, that they did Sir John Compton. They are continuing the same. Yes, and that is true. That is so true. But that says, regardless of what happened in politics, okay, we read that before. I did correct Bernard on that statement. Bernard says, I am getting under you all's skin, just like Kamala Harris got under Trump's skin. We shouldn't be getting under anybody's skin, Bernard. We should be siding with what is right, what is decent, what is required of us. Not provoke each other so that you get somebody to say something so bad and then you rejoice and say, look what they're saying. We shouldn't get under anyone's skin. We are our brother's keeper, and we are sons and daughters of the country. Bernard says Garfield here may be trying to twist something, presenting it as gospel, but none of you all are able to discuss politics here with me. Garfield here may be trying to twist something, presenting it. So, you see, I'm not sure what I'm twisting here. I'm not wasting my time twisting anything. I have nothing to gain in twisting anything and present it as gospel. And I'm not sure listen to me, I am at a point now, folks, if it's not going to help the discussion or make me wiser or make our audience wiser or better, I'm not even going to engage in it. I don't want to go there because this might be a political game for many, but not for me. All right? Not for me. Lucy says they hate Shas so much, the hacks are blaming him for everything. And that is true. Everything you hear is Shas, Shas, Shas. He did this and he did that. After almost 4 years, he's still doing. And you guys have the opportunity to do differently and to make a difference in the nation. But what you're doing is that you're whitewashing things. Yes, you're dazzling the eyes of the weak. You're whitewashing stuff that need to be dug up or broken up and replaced. And you call whitewashing success. But the nation at this point does not need whitewash. They need you to build deeper foundations for the future. It is about building for the future, Bernard Haynes and others. Do you not understand that? This is not a game getting under people's skin and debating the past. Of course, I love a good debate. But I'm not promising to waste any time on debates when we can be discussing right now what is needed for these foundations to be dug. And it's a shame that we cannot try to get ourselves to a place where we can all agree that we got to join hands as sons and daughters of the country to aid in the development of the nation. The Prime Minister said to you guys to come at us. Your auxiliary units out there who are cursing and degrading people were sent out to do just that. So how can we come together and work together for the development of a nation when you are busy strategizing how to attack me, how to attack this one, the talking points to make them to get out of their elements? Nobody's going to get me out of who I am. No, it's not going to be allowed. Whether it's on the SOP side, UWP side, it's not going to be allowed. Period. It's not going to be allowed. So the CEO of the St. Kitts and Nevis CIP program has resigned. Has resigned. I heard the phone trying to come through, but it's not close to me. I removed the system, so whoever is trying to call me, I do not have that. I hear it trying to come through the system, but it is far away from me. I'm not sure if it's being charged up, reorganized, whatever it is, but it's not here by me, so I can't even. But it's coming through very faintly, and then it goes out. Okay, so Marlon Gill says Bernard is just an irritating repellent from Soufriere, Brother Garfield. Folks, let's not engage. Let me just say, let's not engage this morning on responding to this plan attempt to change the discussion on us. Let us not allow ourselves to go there. Most of St. Lucians know the truth that Mr. Shasta is not a racist. He's not an evil man. He loves his country. And he is a son of the country. Period. His family has been in the bouillon of St. Lucia for a very long time. So let's not even entertain these points. These things are stale. They're not worth a cent. They're not worth any political mileage, because there are a lot of beautiful St. Lucians who are not black, who are mixed, different race and everything else, and we're not even going to go there, because I believe that the whole race discussion is a very sensitive discussion that one must not just use as a tool, a political tool. A matter of fact, the whole issue on race has not been the best tool for politicians. Politicians who are not politicians from over the river are very careful when discussing race. Very careful. So I would ask, when we're dealing with race, that we proceed with caution, because you're speaking about, friends, the blood of our ancestors, the blood of women who were raped, killed, hanged, drowned, and for us to be using it carelessly as a political tool, and not only carelessly, but using it against a man who, is not racist. Let me just read an article that I got a while ago. Let me just share it with you as you're here, folks. So Michael Martin resigned as St. Kitts and Nevis CIU CEO. Now, this glasses is for the lights and the computer effect on my eyes. So my glasses is in my vehicle. So let me see if I can see properly to read this. So Martin's departure comes less than 2 years after his appointment and amidst significant changes to the nation's citizen by investment program. In early 2023, Martin implemented reforms that substantially increased the CBI minimum investment thresholds, among other changes to the program. The program faced legal challenges predating Martin's tenure in November 2023. Philip Martinez, a government-appointed public benefactor, filed a Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organizations RICO lawsuit concerning various programs stakeholders. Calvin St. Okay, I'm having issues in seeing, folks. So, and this article, folks, this article is from IMI News, and I believe that they are on the ball with this resignation. Now, in the CIP program, when we announce resignation, people always say, well, that's not true, the person didn't resign. So I'm going to be doing something later today, and I will present it on the platform. I will share it on the platform so that you can verify. I know people now are skeptical and they want verification. All right. And by the way, that is the same job the CEO of the CIP there in St. Kitts, the same position that Mr. Claude Emmanuel holds in the country there in St. Lucia. Yeah. So things are just happening. People are resigning and there ain't nothing going on there. Nothing. They're like, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Okay, so let's get back to this before we go. I know I'm not here for long, folks. This is just an impromptu. Wait a minute. I'm just receiving some stuff, so I'm just trying to rush through them as quickly as I can. Just bear with me, folks. Okay, so let me get back to you. Our loved viewers. Bear with me. Oh, I didn't realize 1 hour ago Gregory is going to be on. Okay, Gregory's going to be on, so I will have to give him space. It sounds like he wants to have a show. All right, so I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to. Sorry, folks, I wasn't speaking. I'm sorry. I don't want to take his space. But again, we just came on to explain, and you can go back. Those of you who just came onto the platform, you can go back and view this broadcast later on today. You can share it with your friends. We spoke about the new requirement for travel to the UK, and we also confirmed that it is not only St. Lucia and St. Kitts, but it is other countries on the globe, including St. Vincent and Barbados. St. Vincent do not have a passport sales program, but they were added to the list. Barbados and other nations were added to the list. And it is all about border security, friends. That's the fact, the point. It is all about border security. Know who is coming in to the country. And let us just watch the space. And I will continue to ask the government to speak to us, the nation. Let the CEO and the CIP people come to a press conference or a session of information and come. Let's have a conversation. But don't just hide. You had nothing at all from that office, and there's speculations. There is no speculations, and there is no information, and there is half information, and then there's mépris, and there is politics, and there is everything else, and you, the people, are just left in a very bad place. All right, so folks, it was nice being here with you again. Charles is going to be coming on at this time. He's having his breakfast, so maybe it's time for me to have mine too. What do you say? But we will be putting out the new schedule for our broadcast, and possibility is that there's going to be a morning show to it, whether it's Monday and Tuesday. We are back on the air, both on GVD TV and of course, on the Facebook and the YouTube platform. Spider is going to have a new show that is on Monday at 8 p.m. We will support that show to make it a success. But remember that we are on the same team, sons and daughters of St. Lucia, and together we can win this war against poverty. It's a war against injustice. It's a war against unrighteousness. It's a war against everything that is not right in the nation. So when these Labour people walking around saying Shaston declare war, I am declaring war too. Every one of us should declare war on these ills in our society. Don't let anybody play words, play in your head, in your cervelle, folks. We are at war. We are at war against corruption, at war against people not taking care of their children, against rape, against violations of our women's rights, the beating up of our women. We're against all those things. Those are the war that we're against, friends. All right? And so we're at war. Stay at war. We will win the fight by the grace of God. Don't let anybody play words with you that they want us to fight each other. War. Come on, that's childish, petty, juvenile. Get over it, my Labour people. All right? Get over it, guys. And then I think there's another thing before I go where Nancy said, no, mama, whatever it is, and they bent out of shape, and it's a patois phrase. I hear many of you guys say it. You guys say a lot of things, and, conveniently you try to, play it a certain way when it comes out from one set of people. But it's okay when you can use it otherwise in your Creole dialect. And you guys need to stop playing games. It's childish, it's petty, it's juvenile. Would I have said "no mama"? No, I don't use those terms. But it's a patois phrase. And even when Shaston said, "Not every dog that bark," you say, "Not every what." Dog, you have to, whatever it is, you have to respond to, or let the backing dogs bray. And you guys take it and bend out the shape. Oh, look at this. Oh, the world is ending. No, it's not ending. Pas tout chicken happy. Moi-même kai dimanche.
Depuis, moi pas ça pour manger petit ça.
And it's true. Not every chien qui happy Naidi mash. Patu shinky happy, naidi mash. That's the old Creole saying. And there are many more Creole sayings that, listen to me, you guys just ridiculous and it's laughable. I laugh at it, friends. I laugh at it because Majikila. And it's their face. The problem is that it's their face. The way they put their face when they're saying their things. They're not smiling, they're serious. And Shasney said that we are dogs and blah, blah, blah. How you do that? How can you do that to us? And blah, blah, blah. There's all more. And not only that, there's more. There's more. But you call that selective outrage. Watch for the selective outrage, friends. Go out there and be a blessing to others. And don't call people out of their names, huh? Don't call them no mama and and she, Patushiki happy or mal buik, mal cochon. Ma tan moun kwe mo mal cochon. Sure, but I didn't understand the part right away, and somebody called me a name in St. Lucia, and I went home and asked my mother what was that, and the name was so bad, friends. It was bad. Well, up to now, I never repeat it again. But you guys do a lot. You say a lot. And only at your convenience, you get outraged. But the Creole language is, it's beautiful. And sometimes when you want to picture somebody, you just go Creole, and the Creole will make everybody go crazy. Lembra Creole via chic. A via chic, ça va ça ouais via chic ça. Comme ici ça gars. One of these days I would want us to go through a Creole segment. I want us to do a Creole segment one of these days, and we can look at some of the old sayings of yesteryear and how angry people get sometimes. What I like the one to say vieux bouic. Let's say from la fashion now they got the vieux chien ça. I saw a lady in Denver. She was in her window, and the guy maybe did something to her boyfriend, whatever it is. He did bookla, but I tell me, guys, bookla ka fashion except Creole ka foute LA ka di vieux animaux mal boui cochon. Whatever y'all do, speak English to me because the Creole can be very harsh, honestly. Because, I grew up in the Adventist church there in Denry, and there's something, man, there's certain things that you said in English, but when these preachers switch to the Creole all for long, it's not even righteous for church, some of the things, like boda butay like it's very harsh, and let's not bend ourselves out of shape, but let us just practice to be peacemakers and to not stir each other to anger or to wrath. But when they throw all these things on Shasney, I say, you gotta say the hypocrites la. How you say hypocrites in Creole? Hypocrite la. Oui. Well, ma'am, anyway, so folks, I'm going to go, so I hope that you have a beautiful day, but don't get yourself, and even Shasney said on thing, he said, remember when they doctored the videos on my platform to make the man look like he was against blacks and everything else, and we found out, thanks to Maneva too, she went back over those clips and found out that the Labour Party was playing a very nasty game, very dirty game, and that's not even politics, by the way. That's race baiting, that's nastiness, it's unrighteousness. Those things normally come back to bite a nation. Race baiting. Imagine you have 50,000 Chinese and you there race baiting. Who knows how many white Russians you have, and you're race baiting pour ça moi dit ça. Pour ça moi dit ça. Ça pas aisé ou ça. So pas easy. And y'all don't care to know who these Russians are or who these Chinese are. But one of your own, you're trying to doctor tapes to prove that he don't like blacks and he don't. Let me tell you something. If you want to know, si vous voulez savoir qui est-ce qui pas content ces blacks là, I got c'est Chinese like ces moun ça, ces Russians là. C'est Chinese là même. Maintenant, yon ici à travailler bon à faire air conditioning bah ici. Et beaucoup de mon gars ça, il dit moi, maman tu peux où? Il dit moi that moi qu'a payer plus là pour même ici. Parce que c'est Chinese là. Because là la community ici Chinese tout celle qui là. C'est là yo sorti. Beaucoup de moi, il plie cher. Il plie is share is cheap, right? It's cheaper in his area for the same thing. Ekidima because you say Chinese. Bugla kidima sa. So nous, le nous ka parle bêtises, nous ni 50,000 plus mwasi we of Chinese. Le yo otwe simply see. You can fezo ale lilet denri. Lazo ka ni pou ale equity. Ale Islet Denry. La Ekrat Island. La yo finek zo. Zo ka Simigwen. Anyway, that's a Creole language too. Simigwen. I just pulled that one out of the bag. Yes. That one is another one, Simigwen. All right? But it is what it is. So selective outrage again. Don't worry with all this nonsense, fake outrage and everything else. Let's just focus on what is right, on the truth, and let's get to work, folks. Have a beautiful, beautiful. Hey, Ronnie. Saka fet, Ronnie. Ou la ka veye mo, La ve all right, folks. Love you all. Ek nye beau journée. Mais beau Dieu bénisse. Ek nou kay we akor. Bye bye. Bye bye.